This is a stimulus update and daily news report. I'm going to play you a video clip from Bernie Sanders talking about the big package coming up. I'll let you know about the latest cities participating in the Universal Basic Income Program, giving out free $500 monthly checks. I'll give you some other important updates along the way. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. If you appreciate these daily updates, hit the like button down below. So California rolls out a digital vaccine verification, but don't call it a passport. So the word vaccine passport has gained a lot of negative attention over the past few months, and Governor Gavin Newsom said it does not constitute as a vaccine passport. But in the state of California, in order to get into big indoor events and activities and some businesses and stores, you're going to have to show that you've been vaccinated through a digital form. Therefore, you have to show your digital vaccine verification. More or less, it's a vaccine passport, but they don't want to call it a vaccine passport. Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Is this a good idea, bad idea? Should more states do this? Should no states do this? Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Next, let's briefly talk about infrastructure. It's a topic that just never goes away and seems like it's never going to be solved. Bernie Sanders says he wants an infrastructure package with a larger price tag, around $6 trillion. Here's more of what Bernie Sanders is talking about and what he wants.
And joining me now is Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. He's, of course, the chair of the Senate Budget Committee. Senator Sanders, welcome back to Meet the Press, and a happy Father's Day.
Thank you very much. Happy Father's Day to you.
Appreciate that. Look, you said on Monday that you weren't going to support this bipartisan infrastructure deal as it stands right now. What would it take for you to support this deal, particularly if President Biden starts to sign off on it? What would it take, even if you don't love it?
Well, Chuck, look, what we have got to do in these budgets is address the crises facing the American people. It is true that our roads and our bridges and our water systems and our wastewater plants are crumbling, and we need to invest in them. As I understand it, the so-called bipartisan plan really only provides about 25% of the money that the president asked for, about $580 billion. But the point goes beyond that. The working people of this country understand, Chuck, that for decades we have ignored their needs while the very richest people in this country have become richer. So we have a situation right now where people throughout this country cannot afford childcare. Elderly people cannot afford hearing aids or dental care. We have a disaster in terms of climate impacting this country right now. How do you go forward right now in this moment in history and not address the terrible climate crisis that we face and transform our energy system? How do you not deal with housing when 18 million families are spending 50% or more of their limited incomes on housing? And the list goes on and on. Rich get richer. Working people are struggling. It is time we paid attention to the needs of working people. And when we do that, when we deal with climate, when we deal with infrastructure, when we deal with home health care, when we deal with child care, we can create millions of good paying jobs. That is what the American people want. That's what we've got to do.
Are you comfortable with a two-step process where you noted this is the 25%? Of what President Biden asked for. Is it worth it in your mind to take what you can get in a bipartisan way, especially if that's the way you can get Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema to get on board a Democrats-only bill that may tackle the care economy as you just outlined?
Well, look, as I said, what is in the bipartisan bill in terms of spending is, from what I can see, mostly good. It is roads and bridges, and we need to do that. That is what we are proposing in our legislation, but in much greater numbers. One of the concerns that I do have about the bipartisan bill is how they are going to pay for their proposals. And they're not clear yet. I don't know that they even know yet, but some of the speculation is raising a gas tax, which I don't support, a fee on electric vehicles, privatization of infrastructure. Those are proposals that I would not support.
At the end of the day, do you think this ends up passing as by raising the deficit? Is that something you're comfortable with? And then Democrats have to go it alone and possibly raise taxes on their own? Is that where this is headed?
Well, when you talk about taxes, let us also be clear. And I think the average American, whether you're Democrat, Republican, or independent, understands there's something absurd that at a time of massive income, wealth inequality, when the very rich are becoming much richer, when two people own more wealth than the bottom 40% of America, that you have billionaires out there who pay zero, not a penny, in federal income tax. Large profitable corporations pay nothing in federal income tax. So what the president has said, he doesn't want to raise taxes on people making $400,000 or less. I agree with that. But you know what? In order to lower the cost of prescription drugs, in order to deal with paid family and medical leave, because we're the only major country on earth that doesn't provide that, yes, we are going to have to ask the wealthy and the powerful to start paying their fair share of taxes.
I want to go back because you kind of ducked the question the first time. Would you support or at least vow not to kill the bipartisan deal if you got a commitment from the president and some of those centrist senators to support a larger attempt to sort of a Part 2 Democrats-only reconciliation bill?
Well, Chuck, I don't know that anybody could give you an honest answer for that because nobody really knows what is going to be in this bipartisan agreement and how it is going to be paid for. So if it is roads and bridges, yeah, of course we need to do that, and I support that. If it is regressive taxation,
Gotcha.
Raising the gas tax or a fee on electric vehicles or the privatization of infrastructure, no, I wouldn't support it. But we don't have the details right now.
It looks like Bernie Sanders wants to go big and bold, but the biggest question that is still unanswered is how are these infrastructure packages going to be paid for? In order for it to be done on a bipartisan basis, Democrats and Republicans need to agree on how it's going to be paid for. They haven't come to a decision on that, and even Democrats are balking at Bernie Sanders' $6 trillion spending plan. Still too much for some Democrats, it's too much for all Republicans. But moving forward, I don't think Republicans are going to come to an agreement. Although Republicans, according to Ron Portman, Republicans are absolutely committed to a bipartisan infrastructure bill. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I don't see it happening, but I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think there is going to be a bipartisan? I think it's going to be through reconciliation, and I think they just need to cut to the chase, stop wasting time, and just go through reconciliation, because these bipartisan talks are going to go on for weeks, if not months, and then come to an agreement that nothing can be agreed upon. Next, let's talk about as the eviction ban ends, some states have yet to give out most rental assistance funds. So states, as well as the government in general, is just so bureaucratic, so slow. There's $45 billion waiting to go out to people for rental assistance who applied for it. But yet the states are so slow to give out these funds. And the eviction moratorium is set to expire in less than 10 days. If you want to get rental assistance, it looks like states are starting to hurry up and try to get it out as fast as possible before the June 30th deadline. So it's still a good time to apply for rental assistance. It may take a little longer, but I think it's still a good idea. Next, let's talk about the fourth stimulus check. So there's a few different programs going on right now. We have Senator Ed Markey, Elizabeth Warren pushing President Joe Biden for $2,000 monthly checks to go in the big infrastructure package. It's definitely not going into the bipartisan package, but for a fourth stimulus check, President Joe Biden may now get on board, but when will relief actually come? So with a fourth stimulus check, Bernie Sanders never mentioned if that is actually in the $6 trillion spending plan. It's still a mystery. $6 trillion, you would think that they would let us know what's in $6 trillion of spending, but it could be a chance for a one-time payment. With the third stimulus check, it cost around $400 billion for those $1,400 checks. For $2,000 monthly checks, I'm not even sure how much that would cost, but I don't see that happening. But something that could be even better than a fourth stimulus check would be the universal basic income, which is happening all over the country. So the latest cities, I'm going to go over the latest cities and then the biggest program going on. So $500 payments as part of experimental universal basic income program tested in upstate New York. So this is going on in upstate New York right now. $500 per month payments for 2 years. You don't have to do anything for it. It's just a free $500 per month. Also, this is happening, or they're trying to get this to happen in the Fresno area for farm workers to get the $500 per month for the universal basic income. Also, Santa Fe, New Mexico signed on to guaranteed income program. So this is actually going to happen. This is going to be for 125 people in Santa Fe, and they're going to get $500 per month for 2 years. And a lot of these programs are actually donated by the CEO of Twitter and Square, Jack Dorsey. So he is a big proponent of universal basic income. He's worth, I think, hundreds of millions of dollars at this point, maybe even billions, I don't even know. But he's given a lot of money towards this program. And across the country, residents of more than 20 cities in the US are receiving $500 a month for universal basic income. And also, this was also proposed by Andrew Yang, who is now running for mayor of New York City. If he becomes mayor, I'm not sure if everybody in New York gets universal basic income, but this is also part of a bigger program called Mayors for a Guaranteed Income. So if you look on here, you could see all the different cities in the US where they're trying to start or have started the universal basic income. They're trying to do this more and more, do pilot experiments, see if it works, and then they want to see if they could expand it and, you know, help out a lot of people get out of poverty. So let me know, is this a good idea, bad idea? Do you agree with universal basic income? Should people who are underserved get universal basic income? Should it be middle class, low class? Let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. As more cities and states offer the universal basic income, I'll give you updates on that. Next, I'll answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Kathy Smith asks, how many times can they use reconciliation during Biden's term as president? So they could use it one more time before October for the reconciliation process. But basically every fiscal year, I think they could use it at least 1 to 3 times. It depends on what they're using it for. So regarding the term, it's not by term, it's by fiscal year. Next, Rochelle Hall asks, do you have to apply for student loan forgiveness or does it do it automatically? So there's certain, I've mentioned certain towns or actually colleges that are offering the student loan forgiveness because of deceit or misrepresentation, and so they're getting their student loans forgiven. But in terms of the broader 10,000 or 50,000 student loan forgiveness, I'm assuming it's going to happen automatically. We don't have the details to that yet. Next question comes from Kathy Stevenson. What about the people who have been working the whole time? Where's our bonus? Back to work bonus is nuts. And then $180 to stay at work, just not right. So yeah, I mentioned yesterday how they introduced a program where it's gonna give $180 for people who are unemployed, who go to work. They get an additional $180 per week. I agree, it's not fair to people who are working the whole time, who weren't collecting unemployment, hundreds of dollars per week, and then they go back to work and they get more money on top of whatever they're working. Yeah, it is kind of strange. Anyways, that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, so my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
So today is my daughter Bella's first day of camp. I'm filming this early in the morning, but she's going to a yoga camp from 9 to 12, which is pretty cool. So today's her first day. I'll let you know how that goes. She's really excited about it. She has a friend in the class. So hopefully that goes well and she has it for the rest of the week. We couldn't really find full day camps yet, but we're doing things here and there as the summer goes on. Hopefully, I hope you have a great day. If you want to check out any of my other stimulus updates, you could click this link down over here or check out my other channels. Click this link up here and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.